Octane is a Southern California-based organization that helps young businesses grow, contribute to the local and national economy as well. And with me is the CEO, Bill Carpoo, to talk more about Octane. So great to have you here in New York.
Jane, it's always great to be here with you, especially on a hot, humid summer day here.
It's
right?
Typical July in New York, right? So let's talk about what you're seeing in the investing landscape. Now, we've heard some cautiousness. There's been talk of recession, inflation. How is that impacting what the companies in the Octane ecosystem are seeing?
We're seeing, I mean, it is a tough environment for an early stage company that, doesn't have revenue and isn't an entrepreneur that has been successful before. So, it's a tough environment out there right now, and it's really significant and important for investors to do their diligence.
Mm-hmm. How do you do diligence on these companies?
So there's two things that we do. One is, I think you're familiar with our accelerator, LaunchPad. We've talked about that before. We start and we see about 550 companies a year and work that down to about 75. So there's multiple steps of diligence just in that process. But then beyond that, those 75 that we work with, now they engage a product that we recently announced. I think I spoke about that about a year or so ago, called Haystacks.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Haystacks uses prescriptive analytics to basically take the 40 data points that we collect on the companies that come through our accelerator and have done so for the last 12 or 13 years. So we've got about 80,000 data points. Mm-hmm. And Haystacks will give a predictability to an investor and say, hey, this has a 90% probability of success.
Okay, interesting what we can determine with data. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
And the capital markets, so are these companies looking to go public someday? How has that track been for them?
All of them are looking to have some kind of an exit, whether it's an IPO, a strategic sale, or maybe a sale to private equity. So all of them are looking at that, but the capital markets are tight. So what we're seeing is that the companies really require professional support. So one of the things that we're doing today is we have a platform called Capital and Growth, and the first part of it is Capital Assist, and it really professionalizes the raise. So what we're finding now, and the data is still a little bit early, but we're finding that companies that utilize that platform at Octane will raise capital about 40% faster than if they tried doing it themselves. And then the second part of that is just being able to access advisors, whether they're functional industry experts or whomever, that can really help them grow the business then also.
Yeah.
And really get up to that revenue curve much quicker.
Well, that's where, the professional help comes in. I know there's a lot of things involved in that, but it can help shorten their learning curve, so to speak.
Exactly, and faster time to capital, faster time to revenue, a faster and probably higher valuation to an ultimate exit.
So Octane always puts on these great events. I've been to a few of them.
You have? And I think you're coming again this year.
I am coming in September, so they're amazing. So talk about the importance of those and, how those contribute to what your goals are.
Yeah, the events have always been a platform for us to provide content and then really to be able to have investors and companies meet. And then around that, spin the industry and the service companies that provide support for those. As you know, we have about 7 events throughout the course of the year. And one that we're looking to add right now, because we've had great success with ophthalmology, medical aesthetics, and recently cardiovascular, we're probably going to add neurovascular at some point in 2024. So we're in the process of evaluating that with some really significant companies such as Medtronic, Johnson & Johnson, AbbVie, Microvention, and then many entrepreneurs. And I think that's going to be a fit for us next year.
Yeah. Finally, just talking about the SoCal economy, and you mentioned med tech. I mean, I know this is really a hotbed, maybe in the nation. For that kind of industry.
It is. I mean, Southern California actually is the epicenter for ophthalmic innovation on a global basis. It's one of the top for medical aesthetics and cardiovascular, and thus, why we're looking at neurovascular right now also. But at the end of the day, the economy is really strong. The startup economy in Southern California continues to perform very well. Raising capital, as we spoke about earlier, is tough. But if you're a good company, you're going to find capital. You just need to expand your net and go much wider than the immediate area of where you're at.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bill.
Yeah. Thank you, Jane. Always a pleasure.